hanging out with Brian and
Bradford. I just looked at the microphone as though that's where we're supposed to.
Yeah.
that's where we're supposed to talk.
Camera.
Hello.
There's the camera right there.
There's the camera.
It sees you. I'm gonna pull up the watch page so we can, if you're hanging out with us, we'll be able to see you. I don't want to. I want that. So hey, if you're hanging out with us today, say hey in the comments. Tell us where you're from.
And your favorite kind of peanut butter. I prefer natural, creamy Jif peanut butter.
I don't like the natural stuff as well. I do like...
Because there's not as much sugar?
I do like Jif. Maybe. I do like Jif. I do like creamy. Crunchy's good, though. Hey, Nicola. Hey, Rick. Hey, both of them have been here before.
Renswoud, right? Isn't that how we decided? We said that last time and it was right? That's just awesome.
So, today, this is what we're going to do today. First of all, we're a little late today, but we have a good reason for it.
We think it is, at least.
We think it's a very good reason. Bradford and I recorded our own sort of take, and we filmed a video for Splinters and Stones.
Yes.
Is that right? From the brand new Hillsong album, Hillsong United, called Wander. Extra chunky. That's California and creamy.
Disgusting. If you want extra chunky, just eat the stinking peanuts themselves. I don't get it.
No. I like chunky. I like chunky. Ugh. We're talking peanut butter. If you're just joining us,
that was the first thing that came to mind.
We said, what's your favorite kind of peanut butter? We both prefer creamy, but hey, I like the chunky stuff as well. All right, Jamie likes creamy. Chris Tuck from UK. Catalina from Colombia. All right. Hey, we are glad you guys are hanging out with us.
So glad.
Bradford and I recorded a version, our own take on... Splinters and Stones by Hillsong United. Great song. We're actually going to sing it for you in a little while.
Yeah.
And we kind of figured out a way to get Bradford on electric guitar here in the live show. So that's kind of cool.
Using the Kemper.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that when we get there. So this is our format. This is going to be the new format from now on. We did it last week, and I thought it worked well. First, we're going to talk about, we picked a topic today. We're going to talk about worship songwriting.
Yeah.
And then we might talk about the new Hillsong album, although I haven't heard much of it. So
I listened to Splinters and Stones this morning on the way here, and we decided to do it.
I think Creamy is gonna win.
Well, it should.
I think Creamy's in the lead. So we're again peanut butter. All right. So I would just love it if somebody showed up and everyone was like creamy, chunky, creamy, chunky. He's like, what are they talking about? Anyway.
Also, check out Brian's new guitar.
Oh yeah, we got new guitar in the house. This is a Martin. We'll talk about that when we get to the gear section.
We get a lot of questions about gear on the regular, so just know that's coming. We're trying to keep the comment section flowing with things we can address. So gear will be later. If you're getting there, just know that that's coming.
We're going to talk a little bit about songwriting, worship songwriting. We just thought that'd be a fun topic to talk about since the new Hillsong record is out right now.
And we're gonna put a disclaimer. We're not claiming to be amazing songwriters, but we can inspect fruit. We can inspect it. So
right, we have written songs before.
We have.
Both of us. And then we'll play a song for you. We're gonna play Splinters and Stones. You're gonna hear Bradford go to town on this electric guitar over here, and then because last week we had several comments saying, "Show that Duesenberg on the wall some love." So Bradford,
which we do.
Bradford is showing some love.
Brian uses this. This is Brian's. Brian's is mine, black with a gold sparkle guard, and mine is black sparkle with a gold guard.
Bradford has a Duesenberg as well.
I have one as well. But Brian uses his live more than anything else. So, but it fit the song today.
It did. It sounds great. So let's talk songwriting. And then after that, we'll take some Q&A. We can do Q&A along the way as well. So the new Hillsong United record is out right now.
Yes, it is. Came out today.
Wonder. Is it called Wonder?
Yes, I believe so.
The album? So first of all, I've heard Wonder, I've heard Splinters and Stones, I've heard the 3 singles that came off of it, and I've heard, what's the other one?
I'm blanking right now.
There's another one on the album. Let's pull it up.
Okay, that's what I was going to do.
Right here. Yeah, get it on your phone there, Bradford, so we can see it. And there's another one that came out.
Well, they released a few. Shape of Your Heart and Shadow Step were
Shadow Step, I've heard. I've heard those 3. Shadow Step, Splinters and Stones, Wonder. All 3 of them, awesome.
Yes, they are.
But Bradford and I were talking earlier about Hillsong. And if you're listening to the new Hillsong record and you're a worship leader, and you might think the same thing that maybe Bradford and I think, What did you say? It's like this is like metaphor about metaphor.
It's a metaphor about a metaphor.
So the songwriting on the United stuff recently, I probably Empire's On, is really deep. You could say, very intellectual. Not every song, but a lot of the songs are that way. And I really love it. But I think as from a worship leader perspective, if you're singing it with a group of people that include churched people, unchurched people, people familiar with the Bible, people unfamiliar with the Bible, people who don't really want to think about things very deeply at 8:30 on a Sunday morning, those songs can be difficult to lead. But Bradford and I were talking today that I don't think a lot of people realize the different music groups Hillsong is comprised of, and they all serve different functions. So, what are they?
Well, there's I'm gonna
move this. You go ahead, and I'm gonna move this a bit.
Okay. Assuming that we're correct here, they have 3: Hillsong Worship.
3 that you basically see a lot.
Yeah, Hillsong Worship, which is the worship.
Hillsong Worship is like their corporate.
Yeah, their corporate, and that's like where
church.
Let's see, Open Heaven, River Wild was that.
Open Heaven, River Wild.
Hillsong Worship album. And so
Glorious Ruins.
Oh, Praise the Name was on there, and One Thing was on there.
Yeah.
And so those are definitely going to lend themselves to more corporate worship songs.
They're very much like we're going to sing these as a church body together.
Yeah.
Kind of songs.
And Hillsong United is their more artistic side of things, and that really shows like in this album and in Empires. And it's not that that's bad things, but like you want to think about the fact that you may understand a song and you may think it's real meaningful, and it may very well hit you between the eyes or right where you're at, but a metaphor could get lost over someone, and someone may be like, I have no idea what I'm singing.
Yeah.
And that's not bad to sing metaphors. I mean, we sing like, what can wash away my sin? Like, nothing but the blood of Jesus. Jesus' blood did not literally come and wash my body. Like, that's a metaphor.
Jesus told parables to teach truths about the kingdom of heaven. Because he always talked about the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
And he always used parables, which is like a metaphor, basically. So it's interesting that's how Jesus taught. But so United is very artistic.
Where it comes from it's a metaphor of a metaphor.
Yeah, it is a metaphor about a metaphor.
The Jesus tells a story using metaphors, and then Hillsong uses a metaphor to describe that metaphor. And they're beautiful, but that's where I think it gets lost when you come to try to do corporate worship stuff.
So if you sing a new United song, Hillsong United, and you have somebody that in your congregation comes up and is like, I don't know what that really means. You can say, well, it's cool because it's a metaphor about a metaphor. And you'd be absolutely right.
Metaphors on metaphors.
Yeah. So, anyway, I love that kind of stuff, though. So we did Splinters and Stones today, and here are the lyrics. And if you go... Yeah, if you just pause your video and read that, right? Anyway, if you go watch the new Song Cafe video with Hillsong United, Joel Houston talks about how he wrote that song, and it's written about the story of the prostitute that was being accused by the Jewish leaders, and they were going to stone her, and Jesus kneels down and draws in the sand, and nobody knows what he drew, which is an interesting mystery in the Bible.
People wanted to say it's a line, but
nobody knows. It just the Bible said he drew in the sand. That's it. So he could have drawn a word. Who knows? The line in the song, it says wrote forgiveness in the sand, but it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. Yeah. So who knows? But that's an interesting mystery about what did he write in the sand. But the song talks about how the accusers. Then Jesus said, "Whoever is without sin, cast the first stone."
Yeah.
And if you know the story, nobody could do it. And one by one, they dropped their stones and walked away. And then when Jesus was alone with the woman, he said, "Go and sin no more." But what is written in the song, which is just an awesome thing to sing about, is Jesus was the only one worthy of throwing the stone.
Yeah.
Because Jesus said, "Whoever casts the first stone, whoever is without sin, can throw the stone." He was the only one there without sin.
Yeah.
And yet he chose to throw himself onto a cross, and I think that's in the something like that is in the song, and so it's kind of juxtaposing this, the wages of sin is death, and yet Jesus went to a cross to pay that. He was without sin, so
it's great. So totally
people are saying we lost the stream. I think we're still going. Yes? No?
It froze here on the playback we had, but it seems to be playing, so maybe we're all right now.
Hey, if you can still hear us, let us know. Because I was going off on songwriting there for a bit.
Yeah. Just trying to read to make sure we were good, but
Okay. Anyway, we'll just keep going. One thing that I personally like about a lot of the new stuff that like Hillsong does is a lot of it's really chilled out and mellow.
yeah.
But we were talking about there's not a lot of people putting out really upbeat, up-tempo songs.
Well, at least
except for Young and Free.
the ones that like there's plenty of churches if you go digging.
Rick says we're still good.
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go digging, there's going to be other churches, and it's not to discredit the fact that they're a smaller church, meaning that they're not. But like when I think about the songs that we look to on a regular basis, Hillsong, Elevation, Bethel, Vertical Church is in there, Passion Church is in there, and it's either super synthy and pop, or it's like this more introspective stuff. And sometimes Planet Shakers will get there every once in a while too. But sometimes I need a song like Salvation is Here Again. Like I need.
You know what's like that is on the new Passion album,
Glorious Day.
Glorious Day is kind of like that to me.
It does have that. That's true.
Yeah,
that's right.
it just
I still want
thrives.
more.
Yeah.
The new Elevation album's got a couple good ones. We're doing Grateful, which is awesome. At our church.
Yeah, Grateful's
and
good,
Grateful's
but
really
it's more
good.
of a power ballad than anything.
Yeah, it kind of is. But when you throw that.
So so if you guys know of some groups, New Spring puts out some really cool upbeat stuff. So does So does Andy Stanley's church,
North Point.
North Point Inside Out does, but
which is their youth ministry.
Yeah, so it's interesting. We're good. Everybody's saying we're good. Thank you.
Somebody yelled
Appreciate
at us.
that. Yes, you're good.
All caps.
All right. Well, they wanted us to know.
Wanted to make sure we knew
we're good. All right. So I see you too, Zach. Lion and the Lamb. Zach Smith just said Lion and the Lamb.
For sure. Yep.
Bethel will put out some cool stuff, upbeat stuff. I personally really like power ballad kind of stuff. That's that's where I gravitate toward. Just I've always enjoyed stuff like that. But you've got Hillsong will have Hillsong United, which is their really artistic sort of vein. They've got Hillsong Worship, which is the corporate worship kind of. We sing these in church in a room full of people. Really, you could sort of say those songs are very vertical. I don't know, as far as like between God and people.
Yeah.
The United stuff is a lot more, is much deeper. And then you've got Young and Free, who's their youth ministry. But it's interesting at Hillsong, isn't their youth ministry like through 25? Don't they kind of designate that number? I read that somewhere.
But the cool thing is, though, this is what else we were talking about, was like they'll do they'll incorporate all three groups on a Sunday.
Set, yeah.
But I mean, they need to section it off and be like, this is on this album, and you'll see like a couple crossover on albums too. Like This Is Living. It's a Hillsong Young and Free song, and it was on Open Heaven River Wild. It was on that one. So it's just, I guess the reason why we wanted to talk about this is this album came out, and we were talking about how some people, myself included, I get kind of disappointed when I hear an album like, oh man,
it's all chill.
Like I'm like all chill, and it's like I don't think we can use these songs because it's the metaphors on metaphors.
They're so deep.
But that's what got us talking about.
Yeah.
Well, Hillsong United, as they're not a worship group, but they're admittedly like, and Joel Houston has said this too.
Very much more artistic with it.
Joel Houston has said that, and he said these songs were written out of where our church is at and like what we're doing. So it may make even less sense because we don't know the whole story behind why he wrote the song. We may understand like what it's about to him, but that's just.
And there are lots and lots of groups out there putting out lots and lots of great music. I feel like sometimes, me personally anyway, because at worship tutorials I can't cover. We can't cover 200 songs.
Yeah.
In 6 months. So you basically I just make a choice to stick with what I feel like is probably going to be the most popular, what most churches are going to want to learn to do. And it's going to be Bethel. It's going to be Hillsong. It's going to be Chris Tomlin, Passion stuff. It's going to be Elevation Worship. Sometimes I feel like that's all we do at worship tutorials, but that's kind of by design. There is lots and lots of really awesome stuff out there that you should seek out. And if it speaks to you and it speaks to a place where your church feels like it are going to latch onto it, then I think you should go for it. So we
Absolutely.
do a lot of songs at our church that I don't necessarily wouldn't cover at worship tutorials just because it's like, maybe a New Spring album. It's not. It just doesn't get as much popularity.
Yeah.
I wish it did.
It's good. Yeah,
It
no,
should.
you guys should check out. We do a few New Spring songs pretty regularly. They just released a newer album a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. So.
Yeah, so there's lots of great stuff out there. I think another thing about songwriting is I went to a conference a while back, a songwriting conference kind of a thing, and Matt Redman was there. And he talked about why
He's
you
all right.
see... Yeah, no big deal. Why you see so many songs written about like the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's like you're seeing the same thing over and over. And he's into photography, which is cool. I didn't know that about him.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and so he said, I'll go out on a walk to take photos. This is what he does. Well, he's an artistic guy, so he'll go on a walk to take pictures. And he's like, I'll go to, let's say it's snowing, and I'm going to go out on a mountain trail. He's like, I will take 100 pictures of basically the same thing. Because every time I take a photo, I try and get it from a little bit different perspective, so you can see a different kind of beauty in a tree or a mountainscape or something like that. But like a photographer will take 100 pictures of the same thing to try and capture it from a different perspective. And he said, as a songwriter, you do the same thing. You take a truth about God, or you take like the story of the prostitute where she was going to be stoned. You take something like that and you write 100 songs around it, because each time you're trying to capture something different about the story that allows you or allows somebody who's going to sing it to see a truth about who God is and what he's done for us that they've never seen before, or see it in a way that they've never seen before, and they can latch on to that. So I thought that was a really good metaphor, again, about songs that are metaphors about metaphors. It's all metaphor. So yeah, keep this stuff going in the comments. You guys are talking a lot about bands that you like. United Pursuit is really cool.
And I can't believe we forgot Jesus Culture.
And Jesus Culture
but,
is really
even
good.
then, you guys are listing stuff. And
Jared Anderson, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are listing stuff, and I don't necessarily disagree, but like, there's still like the sound that I'm looking for was like early 2000s, and it's gone. Like,
you want
it's pretty much gone.
You want Salvation Is Here back.
I want
that
songs
sound.
you can clap to, and like.
Yeah, 4 on the floor.
Like some of them, even though they're more upbeat sounding, like you can't go. I want to be able to clap like this, and it's not just me, but it's like you literally will see engagement go through the roof if you can get people clapping.
Yeah.
And then the song you follow with right afterwards, it doesn't matter. You could go from a big clapper like that into a more introspective song, but you just got people engaged in the song before, and so they're probably going to be more likely to sing if you drop it down to like Glorious Ruins immediately. And that's more why I want those songs. It has nothing to do with my preference as like I just want upbeat songs. It's more of I have seen it with my own eyes. I've been leading worship virtually every Sunday for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm only 28, so like, but I have been leading worship almost every Sunday for the last 10 years.
So have I.
And I have seen it. And it's like, you get people clapping, the next song, they're going to be more likely to be engaged, because clapping doesn't require nearly as much effort as singing at the top of your lungs does.
So it's like a gateway.
I think it's a gateway song.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with
not Gateway Church.
Gateway, which they got some
Which
stuff
they
too.
create
Actually.
great music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
lots of songs
Carrie
out there.
Job.
I will say, so I was leading last weekend. What song was it we started with? And it was like we started the song and the whole room just started clapping.
We did Mighty
What
Warrior.
song? That's not what it was.
That's not what you did last week.
No,
was
we
it
did.
Coffee House?
Yeah, it was Axis. Let me see if I can find
This
it.
Is Living. I saw. The
Yeah,
footage.
This Is Living.
I saw footage. Yeah.
We started with This Is Living, and it was like, how does that song go? Something like that.
You're putting like alive in there.
I know.
So it's G.
Waking up knowing
Hey,
there's
yeah.
a reason.
E minor.
All my
E minor.
dreams come alive. Life is full of things. So I'm with you. Made my decision.
This is not what we're gonna sing.
Fill my eyes with wonder. Tainted with you. No moment is wasted. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I'm found. guitar needs to come up a little bit. Is that as loud as it is?
Yeah.
Or were you backing off?
I would rather start quiet.
Yeah. Okay, so we did This Is Living on Sunday. People were like, "This is living now."
Singing's a lot more vulnerable.
Yeah.
So if you're able to break down, doesn't matter who you are, even if you got 100 of the best Christian worship leaders, artists in the same room, if they did not know each other, I still would say that the first song you get them going, they're probably not going to immediately jump in. It's just, you're uncomfortable. It's a little vulnerable. So if you get people clapping, everybody claps. Like, unless you clap off beat, you can't clap flat or sharp.
Make sure your clap is either on every beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, or just on the 2 and the 4.
Just on the 2 and the 4.
No clapping on 1 and 3. Let's just put that out there. If you clap on 1 and 3...
So this is how you do it. This is living now.
Oh yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's wrong.
Before.
That is wrong.
Your perfect
Stop
love
it.
Sees me soar. God, you're free.
There you go. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Triplets.
Clap on 2 and 4, not 1 and 3. So it sounded like looked like we might have been clipping pretty bad on the channel. Let us know if that sounded all distorted.
Well, it kind of looks like it is right now.
But I never know how it comes through on the... yes, thank you. Yes, don't clap on 1 and 3. Let's just sing a little bit of This Is Living again. Turn your guitar on. A little bit louder.
I did just a
little bit louder now. All right. We're going to sing just a little bit of a song, and then you please tell us whether it's too loud, like if it sounds distorted and clipping. I can try and fix that. Maybe a little louder. My guitar's a lot louder. Maybe a little up on the guitar. So we're running through the Kemper, and we're just running the Kemper out to a powered studio monitor. So it's not like the Kemper's going straight in. You're hearing it through a speaker, through a room mic.
Yeah, and I wouldn't recommend, if you're a Kemper guy or looking to be one, I wouldn't do this often. Like, I wouldn't be putting rock and jamming heavy stuff through it all the time. It's good for this, but...
Wow, that's... First of all, the video is lagging way behind, we can see here. Actually, no, it's closer. All right. Never mind, it's not too far behind. It's a little bit behind, so... we're going to sing, and you tell us. Yes, good, no, bad. You need to turn the gain down a little bit. Bradford's level can come up. Yeah, we turned Bradford up. You ready?
Yeah.
So what does it go? B minor? No, G. G,
yeah,
A, B minor.
A, B minor, E minor.
I thought it was D over F sharp. So, waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come up.
You can.
Let's do D over F sharp. Alright. So, This Is Living is 4 chords on repeat. Here we go. Still come up a little bit. Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Life is for living with you. I made my decision. You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever in your love. I don't have the words. Moment is wasted. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn the color all around. All is new in the Savior I have found. we going? Is it
No.
getting much louder?
Yeah, it's getting louder. I'm just doing it a touch at a time.
Okay. Jeremy says you could come up a little bit, but you got 100 sound guys on the stream at the same time. Too many cooks in the kitchen is what he's trying to say. Okay, so cool. We're good to go then. Somebody wants to know if they can have the Les Paul. What Les Paul? There is no Les Paul here. This is no Les Paul. We'll talk about it when we get to the gear segment, which is coming up after this. So, Brad and I did Kennedy. Kennedy wants to have this guitar. Kennedy, I do not blame you, because this guitar is pretty unreal how good it is. All right, we're gonna sing a song. This is the new Hillsong United song, Splinters and Stones. And we actually came up with we came up with parts and everything. I feel like you could maybe come up even a little more. Yeah, you're probably good. It's a Duesenberg. All right. Jamie wants to have my old Martin.
No, this is
right there.
This is in addition to.
No, sorry. I'll tell you which one it is, though, so you can go buy one. All right. There's nothing on the providence I know. No longer bound to things of wood and stone. And all I had to offer was my words. Saw my heavy heart and loved me. Beauty staring down my brokenness. Chose to throw your heart into the net. Dashing, crashing down upon my head. You were there all this time, like a river running through my failure. Carried me all this time, like the splinters buried in your shoulder. Carry me now, hallelujah. Ever now my heart cries, hallelujah. Ever now in the wonder of your grace. 1,000 times, 1,000 years my soul will say. Here we go. Grace. You saw the crushing weight my flesh deserved. Mountain road, forgiveness in the dirt. One by one, the stones fell where they lay. One by one, my accusers walked away. Nothing left to throw, they've been called. if ever now in the wonder of your grace, 1,000 times, 1,000 years, my soul will say, Hallelujah. Forever now in the greatness of my Savior, forever in the brightness of your name. Jesus, on this rock I sing your praise. All right, we made it. Okay, so that song is kind of weird actually, because in the second verse it skips a chord. It skips the progression,
And
skips
it throws
a
me off
change.
every time.
And it throws you off as far as what you play, and two, the melody changes. It's like the melody's weird, so you really have to learn that one well. Yeah, but it's a great song, man. Really good.
Yeah.
And I like your parts a lot.
Thank you.
I'm just strumming away on chords. It's a really easy song to play. It's
is.
in the key of D. It's just D, A, G, and B minor.
Different
much.
orders, but the whole song, that's all you play.
Yeah. So
Which I think is half the battle. I think we could do a quick lesson right now. The way to get better memorizing music is figuring out how many songs or how many chords are in your song.
Yeah.
And
Listen to the
think of it
changes.
that way.
Mm-hmm.
D.
So you can hear when a song goes from a 1 to a 4 to a 5 to a 6.
And there's only one minor chord.
B
so
minor,
think about
which
So
is the
think
6.
about it, and then the G is a 4, and the A is a 5, and the B minor is a 6. So if you hear it go up or if you hear it go down, you have 4 chords to choose from. You're on one. If it's a minor or it's a major, you know. I mean, just like they're fine patterns. That's just the way I tell everybody. So easy song. Yeah.
That's how you think. So just go up the alphabet. D is 1, E, F, G is 4, A is 5, B minor is 6, C sharp, diminished, 7th,
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so let's talk gear. So we've had many questions all thus far. Well, this is like the most common questions we get are gear questions, which is cool.
Yeah.
But we're really passionate.
That's part of.
I mean, we
equipping
love gear, but we're really passionate about leading worship well. That's
Yeah. Which is why good gear is.
But we have talked about
crucial.
that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's talk gear. So this guitar, you asked questions about this guitar. This is a Martin CEO7. It's a 00 body style. So where's your acoustic? Did you put it away?
In a case. I can get it.
Bradford has a 00, which is slightly larger. We can just show you the
I will leave the
differences.
show momentarily.
Yeah, so I'll be here by myself.
Bye, Brian.
Bradford has a 00, which is slightly larger. So Martin kind of developed all these body styles. Gibson along with them. But there's the single O, which is like a parlor style guitar.
Really tiny.
Really little.
It's kind of counterintuitive. You think more zeros, I would think more smaller. I don't know.
So there's a single O, which is parlor style. There's the 00, which is this one. This is actually a sloped shouldered 00, which is more reminiscent of a Gibson style than a Martin style. But this is the 00. This is a 000. 000 is a little bigger. Also known as the OM or orchestra model. Now the difference between a 000 and an orchestra model is the scale length. So a 00 and a 000 both have a 24.8-ish or 9, somewhere in there. 24, little less than 25-inch scale length. Which means the strings have, there's less, that's the distance from here to here. So on a shorter scale length guitar, the strings are under less tension to get the same pitch. And so it makes it a little easier to like bend and play, basically.
Yeah.
And then the orchestra model has around a 25.5-inch scale, which is the same as a dreadnought. This is a dreadnought. So if you can see, let's put them in order. You hold it over there. They're in order now in size from smallest to biggest.
Of the ones we have, at least.
Of the guitars we have.
You, I'm sorry.
00,
Can't see.
000, orchestra model, same thing.
Dreadnought.
And as they get bigger, they sound bigger. So this guitar has really focused. Really, this guitar has a really focused mid-range. This guitar sounds incredibly good. Bradford's guitar is just awesome.
Brian almost questioned his purchase.
So I bought this
after
guitar.
he heard this again in person.
I bought this. This guitar is new as of yesterday. Or no.
Thursday.
Wednesday. This guitar
Today's
is 2
Friday.
days old to me. I bought it used, so. And sadly, today, Bradford and I went to, Bradford helped me out today. We went to the shipping place and
Said bye-bye.
the PRS Custom 24 is gone. So, it's sold. This guitar took its place. So, Josiah wants to know if we have any Taylors.
Negative, Rampart. Next question.
Bradford and I are not big fans of Taylor guitars.
Hey, if Mr. Robert Taylor were to watch this and want to send us something so we could see how awesome they are, we're not opposed
Please.
to that. But we have found what we have purchased with our own hard-earned dollars that we very much prefer these Martins. Brian and I, funny enough, both had Takaminis before we had Martins.
Yeah, I have one right over there.
He has one right there, which is funny because I had a Takamine too. And I think we
Takamini's
both were
fine.
like, wait a minute.
Well,
We want Martins.
So Martins sound a certain way, which I really love. Taylor sound a certain way, which sound great, but it's not the sound that I like as much as a Martin sound.
Mm-hmm.
And any guitar can sound great plugged in if you put the right pickup in it, which
That's
is
also true.
an LR bag. All three of these guitars have an LR Baggs Anthem pickup in them.
Mm-hmm.
So we like the Anthem. Let's play. I'm going to strum a E chord on each one of these guitars.
I
You
don't
can
think
hear
I
the
can.
difference.
Okay.
You just hand them to me one after the
Okay,
other. We'll go from
good idea.
smallest to biggest. So here's double O. Okay. Triple O. Or orchestra model. A little bit bigger.
That's
a little
an
bigger
orchestra
sound. It's the same shape.
Oh.
Different
these
scale
were-
length.
Got it. I'm with you.
Okay. And Dreadnought. Here's the big cannon.
From this angle, they all sound about the same sound.
Not to me.
Like, level-wise.
Oh, with
This
volume.
one actually sounded a little louder.
That guitar has got some magic built into it. You know why I think it has magic built into it? So acoustic guitars, if you hear someone say it's a 12 fret or a 14 fret, they're not referring to the number of frets on the guitar. They're talking about where the body meets the fretboard. So this guitar meets on the 12th fret, which is not normal. Most guitars meet on the 14th fret, which is here. This double O is the same way, meets on the 14th fret. So a 12 fret guitar, the bridge is a little further up on the body. So typically a bridge, actually it's a little further back. Usually a bridge is a little higher, I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
The bridge is in a slightly different place because of where, just going to cover all my bases. It's in a different place. A lot of people say that is kind of a sweeter spot to put the bridge. And the top of the guitar is bigger because there's more of it because it goes a little higher on the guitar. And that creates more overtones, more bass response. So 12 fret guitars are really cool. You lose upper fret access, like
Yeah. I can't. And
Like,
even
this is
then,
the-
even further.
you know, this is the 15th fret, and I can easily get it, but you couldn't because it's like right here.
this.
Not yet.
That's the 12, isn't it?
Yeah,
3,
12th
5,
is here.
7, 9, 10, 11. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
For-
So
for-
this guitar will meet at the 14th fret. Bradford's is at the 12th, so you can get higher on this one.
This one, I bought it. Like, I don't even have dots up here, which means, like, if I'm trying to play something up here, it's hard to tell at first glance.
Okay, so we've had questions
Anyways.
about
Others.
do you like to lead worship with a square shoulder or a slope shoulder? Whatever you got. This is the guitar I've traditionally always played. This would be more of a square shoulder. This would be a slope shoulder guitar. They just sound a little different. Gibson, like the J45, Gibson does slope shoulder. That's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
They sound a little different.
Yeah. So.
No one ever plays above the 12th fret on acoustic in worship.
Oh,
anyway.
I would.
I do. Yeah.
I would. But I can't get to mine. That was my fault. But. See, Collings.
So
man,
we've had Collings and Larave's.
Larrave.
Really good.
You can find
They're
some.
Canadian, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Canadian
You can
company.
find some Laraves for like under $1,000. That sound really good.
I've played a handful of Larave's before, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
Collings are typically like a Martin clone.
though.
Like they're Martin style guitars made in Texas. Very, very expensive, very high end.
Brian and I, as
I've played a handful
they're
of them,
great.
and I can't really tell the difference between that and a well-made Martin.
I would rather a Martin over a Collins.
Well, they're a lot cheaper, a lot more accessible financially. More talk about Taylor. Taylor makes really nice guitars.
Neither one of us have cool tubes in our Takamine, but we both think they're amazing. Yeah. Very, very interesting. I heard a friend of mine had a cool tube Takamine, and I was like, whoa, there's a tube in it. It sounds awesome.
Doesn't sound as good as the Anthem, though.
Correct. Yeah, we're a big Anthem. Somebody asked if they should put an Anthem in a $400 guitar. If you like the way that thing sounds mic'd,
yeah.
If you have mic'd that guitar at home and you think that
acoustically.
Sounds good,
yeah,
that's preference. I would do if I thought a guitar sounded good and I wanted to put a pickup in it, I would do it. But a pickup is not stuck there. So if you bought it, realized that it just didn't do anything for you, you can take it out and then get a nicer guitar. But I would say don't. Also, as a rule of thumb, I wouldn't put a pickup in a guitar that costs almost as much as the guitar.
Yeah, so
I would get a guitar that I liked. So if you like the guitar, then put it in there. But if you're wanting a better guitar, I wouldn't try to put a pickup in. I don't think that's going to help you if you're wanting a better one.
Yeah, so the Anthem costs $300, and then you got to pay probably $100 or so for someone to install it.
If you're lucky, you can find a guy to do it for $50, like I did. But I don't think it looks as good as it could.
All right, let's move on. The burning question now has become the Kemper. So, okay, first of all, let's pull that Les Paul over there out. So it does look like a Les Paul.
It does. It's very Les Paul-esque. It's just a lot more.
Let's pull the single
tricked
cut
out.
This is a Duesenberg Star Player TV. Primo.
It's nice.
Duesenbergs are awesome guitars.
Yeah.
They're German guitars. Are we going to say they're German-made guitars? That is a point of contention. Nobody knows. They claim they're made in Germany.
This doesn't say.
They're ambiguous about it.
This doesn't say.
So some people say that Duesenbergs are made in Korea. Duesenberg refutes that. Nobody's really ever seen where they're made. I will say this. They're made better than almost any other guitar I've ever had. That PRS I had rivaled it as far as
Well, you were down
finish.
between the two. Which one?
Yeah, I was going to decide which one of those to
You were
sell.
trying to figure that out.
And the doozy stayed. Just because I love the way this guitar sounds.
And
first of all, it has the best bridge humbucker pickup I've ever heard in my life in this guitar. Ever.
So good.
The PRS I had the 5708,
which are very
humbucker pickup
good as well.
Set, which are also very highly revered by PRS people.
I would want that in the neck, and I'd want this.
Yeah,
in
that
the
neck
bridge.
pickup
that
sounded
neck
really good on that PRS.
to die for.
It was probably the best neck humbucker pickup I've ever heard. This bridge pickup sounds incredible, though. And then it's got the P90 in the neck, but the middle position is a little bit out of phase. Play it for us, Bradford.
It's a acquired taste for some. I think some people don't love it. Let's do this first. Let me do... This is neck.
And that's a P90 in the neck.
P90 in the neck.
Yep.
This is the out of phase.
It's a little quackier. It's almost a little Strat-ish.
It is,
not like
which is
a
why we
Strat,
like
though.
it. Which is why... Now watch.
Sounds like you too.
I think I'd have a hard time if somebody told me that the Edge re-recorded that song and he used it, and they were like, "Oh, he used a Strat or a Duesenberg." I wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah.
Maybe I would, but it's just making a joke.
Yeah. So we've got some good questions here. What's the difference between the Duesenberg and Les Paul? There are a lot of differences. So first of all, the Duesenberg they're semi-hollow. Some Les Pauls are. The biggest difference though is the scale length.
Mm-hmm.
So the Duesenberg
Bigger.
is a 25.5-inch scale length, which is a Fender scale length. Les Pauls use a 24.75-inch. Is that right?
I don't know.
24.7. I think that's right. If you know, let me know. But the scale length is shorter, so again, the strings are under less tension.
Yeah.
It makes the whole thing sound different. So the Duesenberg is like, if you hold them up one to the other, the Duesenberg is a lot. It's like you took a Les Paul and stretched it.
Yeah.
Lengthwise.
Which I need bigger guitars, so I kind of like that more.
Yeah.
And I think the body is definitely a little different, but it's reminiscent of, yeah.
It's obviously inspired by.
It's
the trim system is totally different.
It's second to none. This is like the
best tremolo.
The best big. It's more of a Bigsby look, but they I think the reason why they went with this is because they got like copyright infringement from Bigsby because like
Maybe.
they were using the same arm.
Oh yeah.
Or at one point.
Yeah,
so if you
the
look at
old
older Duesenbergs, they had that.
The Bigsby look.
I like this better. It's a lot easier to like you just grip it. It feels more natural than a flat piece of metal. But this is the best feeling, smoothest sounding. Keeps it in tune the best. Part of it's this roller bridge here. But their whole shtick is like 3 steps ahead. And it's like an Art Deco kind of look, which some of them look more like that head. But if you look, a lot of their stuff is like in threes. So there's 3 here, 3 here.
The design
there's
aesthetic is
3
really
rings around these on top. It's kind of hard to see, but there's 3 bumps on each side of this. 3 bumps here. The 3 pickup selections is kind of just happenstance, I would think. There's 3 little bars here on this part of the pick guard. The D's got 3. There's 3 bumps on their thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're all about that. Some people don't like them. They say they feel fake. And I could see that or they feel plasticky or whatever. And the reason I think that is because it's so perfect.
It is very, very finely tuned.
Like the frets are done by a machine.
You know, if you grab this guitar, for example, I'm trying not to hit. If you would like pick this guitar up and play it, this is like a vintage, like beat up 50-year-old looking. It's not 50 years old, but it looks like it is.
Like 50 weeks
Strat.
We've had our
It feels way different. It's just a completely different feeling.
Oh yeah.
And you feel different playing it, and I think it kind of inspires you to play different things. And somebody asked in the comments, "Can you have too many guitars?" And the answer is no, Nicola. You cannot have too many guitars.
No.
But at this point, I feel like if I get another guitar, I need to let one go.
Yeah, my wife would not like me to have like 20 guitars.
19
though.
19 would be fine. So Bradford, let's we've put this off long enough.
People keep asking about the
We need to talk about the Kemper. So
we need to do a video because
first question was
questions.
Thoughts on the Kemper?
Yes. Yes, we have thoughts, and the answer is yes.
I agree.
The
Kemper sounds amazing.
It is uncanny how good it sounds, and I had people for the story. I had a Blues Junior, loved it.
Humboldt
Blues
Special
Junior,
edition.
very very different than just a regular Blues. Not very different, but different enough that it made me want that one more. I ended up selling some pedals and slimming down my rig, and I bought a matchless. Had it.
That's right.
Sounded awesome.
Matchless Lightning?
Yeah, sounded awesome. But then I was like, I miss my Blues Junior. So I got rid of the matchless. I was like, it's not worth it. Like, in my in-ears when I'm playing, which is how I hear my guitar 90% of the time, the matchless just didn't sound as much as what I wanted. It sounded good. It just wasn't what I wanted to the Blues Junior. So I got rid of it. Got the MJT. We got our order together.
We got matching.
We have
MJTs.
cousins. Our guitars are cousins.
They're not matching, really.
They're not matching. They were at one point going to be, but we
Yes.
changed. That's another story. But as I was getting down to it several months ago, I was like, man, these Kempers are awesome. I really started diving into them. Looking at them, it sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have any. I wasn't worried if I didn't like it. They seemed to be popular enough. I was just gonna dump it, and I was just like, I'll get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I knew it was good. I plugged it in and used the bass profiles that came with it, which they're not bad, but you can get
Should we
a lot better.
Should we give just like a 30-second overview of what the heck a Kemper is?
Yes.
You want me to do that?
You can.
All right. This is what a Kemper is. It's a profiling amplifier.
Delicious tone.
So
More specific than
it's
that.
digital modeling, but they call it profiling. So what you do is you get your favorite amp, or somebody gets their all-time favorite amp.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's a 1959 Fender Bassman, super rare, and you mic it and run it into the Kemper at your favorite setting, and it creates a profile, kind of like a snapshot of that amp at that setting.
It like sends a sound, and the Kemper knows what that sound's supposed to sound like. So when it records how your speaker reacts, it uses that to kind of create a bass of.
Yeah, so it basically creates they call it a profile, and then it stores it, and so then you plug into the Kemper, and it literally sounds exactly like.
Yeah, I watched so many videos and profiles.
Exactly
they were
like it.
They were saying at the end of the video, they were like, "Hey, look, I guessed," and literally like, if I guessed that it was which one was which, it was a guess. I really had no idea. But again, like I was saying, 90-95% of the time when I'm playing, I'm hearing my my guitar tone through in-ears anyways.
Yeah.
So the only thing you're missing
Yeah.
is the moving air from an amp, which this is a little
Plug
different.
it into a speaker.
This is a little different.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same as like an actual amp cabinet because those are designed to resonate differently than these are designed to be more flat, so it's a little different. However,
Yeah.
I fall in love with it. I switch profiles all the time.
Yeah, so then you've got this profile of your amp or somebody's amp, and a lot of people have created profiles of a lot of amps, and you can download them, you can buy them from people. You use a lot of the Mike Britt profiles. He's a engineer that has a bunch of awesome amps,
And he plays guitar for Lone Star.
And he plays guitar for Lone Star. No big deal. So so anyway, you can get Bradford has all kinds of awesome amps in there, and you just dial it up and it sounds like the amp.
Yeah.
The next question was, and then you run it direct, so you can buy a powered version or an unpowered version. Bradford has the non-powered, so all you got to do is take the XLR out of the Kemper, run it into your soundboard, and you're good.
Yeah.
You can run it into what we're doing, a powered speaker, which is what you're seeing.
Which you can get more of a flat frequency response, which is going to be a little
You
better
just
than
want
this.
something that's like a PA speaker that doesn't color the sound at all.
Yeah.
If you run it into a cabinet, like a guitar cab, it wouldn't sound like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Then you can also get a powered version and run it into an unpowered. It's just
like
where
you can run it like an actual head of an amp head.
Yeah.
That power pushes it to the speaker. You're not going to get anything if you go out of this into like a speaker cabinet.
So the next question is then how do you use pedals with it?
This literally treat this like an amp.
Yeah, so Bradford has a spaceship pedal board right down here that you can't see, but it's got all kinds of knobs and buttons and lights.
It's not worth it right now. Sorry.
He's got it. Bradford loves pedals, and so he runs his pedal board into it just like an amp, and it sounds just like you'd run a pedal board into an amp.
Except it makes recording so much easier.
Recording because you just literally plug it into
I don't have
interface.
to. I don't have to worry about
No
if
miking.
my wife is doing homework. She's in grad school right now.
Yeah.
I can wear headphones, or I can just keep it quieter, and I don't have to worry about it. Oh, my tone is not loud enough. And then on Sundays, I can leave this on stage during run through, and if I need to tweak something, it's right there. I usually left my amp in the green room.
Yeah.
And ran it back. Right now I'm using a Dr. Z profile. I've never really told myself that I'd buy a Dr. Z if I had the chance.
Dr. Z's are cool.
They're great. It just wasn't what I wanted. But this profile, we recorded
It worked
the
for this song
today. Mm-hmm. That was what. So I try to intentionally use different
Recorded
profiles.
the Hillsongs.
Hillsong song.
So you usually use a matchless profile or just depends, right?
For a while. My go-to was the divided by 13 FTR 37.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of like my go-to. It's got the smooth warmness of an American sound with the nice creamy bite of like a British sound.
Yeah.
It's kind of like combined. I've been using a Matchless Lightning. I have a Dumble that I really like to use.
So you can get literally anything.
Amp. And
any amp that's ever been made probably has a profile that's worth listening to.
Yeah. There's a rig exchange. So Kemper set up this app program you can get for your computer.
Yeah.
And anybody can upload profiles of anything, and anybody can download those
and you
profiles.
Can just download them.
Some of them are the catch is that person profiled their amp the way they want it, so you're not going to have much tweaking.
It's like a snapshot.
Yeah.
It's not like you can adjust all the knobs.
You don't have all the parameters.
So, but that's a good segue into. Well, first of all, there are effects built into the.
There
Kemper.
are. You can use them.
If you buy the little floorboard, you can access and turn them on and off and stuff. But Bradford, it gets to be pretty expensive if you do that whole route. But that can lead us into the the Helix. The Helix is I use a Helix. I still use a Helix. I don't have a Kemper.
Yeah, you'll get one.
I really like it, but I love my Helix. And the Helix is a different sort of approach. So the Helix is a model of different amps and pedals. And so they modeled the actual circuitry of the amp. And so with the Helix, you pull up a Fender Bassman, and it's like you've got a Fender Bass. You can run through all the controls just like you would a Fender Bassman. And it's got all the effects, and it's in a package where it's like a pedal board built into it. So it's a completely different type of product, actually. I mean, they do kind of the same thing, but the approach is way different.
Yeah,
so.
And you can find a Helix for, if you are patient, I've seen it many times. So, you can get a Helix for under $1,000 on Reverb.
Full Helix?
Full Helix.
Like the regular big deal, not
I've
the
seen
LT?
people let them go for that. They're just they've had it, and
wow.
so you can get a Helix for $1,000, If you think they're too expensive at that point, then yeah, you think it's too expensive. I get that. But if you're gonna make a switch, dude, get a $1,000 Helix is really not that bad. An amp and pedals, you're into that about $1,000 at that point.
Yeah, it's hard to get a decent amp and a decent pedal board and like power and a pedal board itself, not just the pedals, but the thing to put them all on, and the Velcro, and it's really easy to spend way over $1,500 on.
Oh yeah, and if you just gotta be patient.
With the Helix, I'm convinced, especially once you mic it and run it through a PA, it's probably better because you eliminate a lot of factors like the microphone and the channel strip that it runs through. But anyway, so that's Helix, Kemper, acoustic guitars, electric guitars. We covered a lot of ground.
And here's
did we miss any questions? I saw a lot of stuff about a little bit about the Pod HD500X, which I played one of those before I got the Helix. I like it a lot. You can get some HD500X patches at Worship Tutorials.
They're great. It's just when you try the Helix, it's like night and day.
They're way better.
But I mean, Brian and I are realistic here. We know that, like, I don't think if you were to ask the normal congregant, hey, could you tell the difference between the Helix I got? They're not going to notice. But I think there's something to be said of, like, we want to, like, I have a problem where sometimes I have too much noise because of our building and all. And so, like, that is something I don't want to cause a distraction for people. So having good gear, the best I can have, not the best that is available, the best I can have. That's a good thing to kind of consider.
Yeah. It's funny because I've played at Bradford's campus with him, and I brought the Helix with me, and it was like way less noise floor. But that was when you had your amp and pedals and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been on about an hour, so I think we're gonna roll out pretty quick.
See,
somebody got a full Helix for $850. Wow, that's a great deal.
That's what I mean. It is possible. Yeah. So I don't think that's a lot of money. I mean, it may seem like it at first, but
it's not cheap.
If you're gonna break down the cost of an amp and pedals, you're gonna be very close, and it's gonna be night and day between a lower end amp and lower end pedals and a Helix. The Helix sounds every bit as good in a mix. Now, if you're gonna do solo stuff, just the electric, yeah, you could probably you could argue that you could probably tell that it's a little digital at times. You could probably say that, but in a mix, and I think it's so easy to use if you're like trying to transfer over, easy peasy. If you're trying to go from acoustic to electric, and you want something that's gonna be easy, you know how to fuss with it. It's got the sounds you need, everything you're ever gonna need. Hey, this song can use a chorus pedal. There's one in there. This song can use trem. It's in there. So, not trying to.
So what sounds better between the Helix and the Kemper?
I think Brian.
Amp sounds.
Just straight amp sounds. Brian and I would probably agree that the Kemper may have a leg up on amp sounds. I think Brian even agrees. Yeah, you said that.
Did I?
You did.
Maybe I was asleep.
I don't know. We both have our own preference because we own one. The Helix can do more right off the bat, which is kind of regardless of what sounds better, the Helix for cheaper can do. If nothing else, it sounds almost as good, and it can do twice as much.
The Kemper might have a leg up on just pure amp sounds, but here's the thing about the Kemper. If you want to have a model of John Mayer's new custom PRS amp,
well, I'd have to find it. I want one so bad.
You can't get that in the Helix unless they model it.
They do it.
If somebody creates a profile in the Kemper and puts it for sale for $20, you can get it.
I have John Mayer's Dumble cloned.
Yeah, that's not in the Helix. So you can do different things with the Helix than the Kemper.
It's more money.
Or the Kemper than the Helix.
It's more money.
The Kemper's more expensive.
And if you want to use it with a floorboard, you got to pay like $400 for that.
But here's the thing, Bradford.
Tell me.
We're gonna hashtag make acoustics great again. Everybody wants to talk about electric guitars. Acoustic guitars where we're at these days. We're gonna make them good. Get that acoustic guitar back up here on the screen. Ugh. All right. Jeremy says, "Don't forget my love for the Helix tuner." I use a Helix with my acoustic a lot. Every Sunday I do. I run my acoustic through the Helix. Here's what I use on it. I use a compressor because it makes it sound better. I use an EQ. Obviously I tune it with the Helix. And then I don't run it. I saw a question: do you use IRs with the acoustic? And I don't. So here's the thing: the LR Baggs Anthem pickup sounds like a real guitar, so you don't need an IR to make it sound like a real guitar. I've tried IRs, and they don't sound as good as this pickup does.
Yeah.
If you had a piezo pickup, which I've actually experimented with it, you can roll these all the way to the piezo only, and I tried it with the IR and I tried some from 3 Sigma Audio, some acoustic IRs, and it made it sound pretty good. So. But it did not sound as good as the full microphone Anthem.
Yeah.
The Anthem is a great system. And I'm gonna review the Anthem pretty soon. So what I'll do is I've got 2 guitars with an Anthem in it, and maybe next weekend if Bradford can come over, we'll do a little review and show you. We'll play them mic'd and then play them plugged in, so you can see the difference. But you can see just how, and then maybe compare it to like my Takamine, or you can just make the Anthem all piezo if you want to.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
Which
junk like a piezo.
It's not terrible though. It's still nice. I like keeping a little bit in there because it brings back some low end,
yeah.
which is good in these smaller style guitars. Somebody asked which body style we prefer leading worship with.
They asked a triple O or an OM. Those are the same body. Those are the same body shape. A triple O and an OM are exactly the same body shape.
Yeah.
They're a different scale length. So it just depends on what.
But either way, I don't.
Scale length means the length of with the string from the bridge from the saddle to the nut. So yeah, they're.
I don't play an acoustic long enough when I lead worship. I'll do it for like one song, but.
And I don't have a preference either.
Yeah, it just depends on my mood.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of preferences.
The big difference would be like a triple O versus a dreadnought, because those are going to sound a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I were going to pick one,
yeah.
I don't know. A triple O is great because it's really balanced. Mm-hmm. Dreadnought has a really big sound, but it can be a little boomy. So
yeah. Depends on what you're doing. If you're leading by yourself, I want a bigger style guitar.
A dreadnought might be.
I want more of that body. I want more of that oomph.
If you're often leading in a band context where you want your guitar to sit really well, like really in a nice mid-range area, maybe an orchestra model is better. Because with a dreadnought, you're gonna have to shave off a whole bunch of EQ on it, a lot of low end out and a lot of mid-range out. So. Okay. Cool. Oh, you asked about that. Rick says they asked about that compared to Dreadnought. So
yeah.
Also, I made a video when I went and picked this guitar up a couple days ago. I created a little video when I did that, and it's done. I just need to upload it pretty soon. I've got it almost done. But in that video, I actually play these 2 guitars. This is a double O, and the Dreadnought back to back, so you can hear exactly the difference, how they sound. So that will be coming soon. You can check that out. All right, we're gonna sign off. It's 5:30 almost. It's time to go. Bradford's giving you the goodbye hands. All right. So hey guys, thanks for hanging out with us. I know we say Fridays at 4. Today it was a little after 4.
Yeah.
But we had something cool in the works, which will be coming soon, so you can check that out. So all right. Rick says just what they need to hear. Good. Glad that was helpful. So what are you going to go with? Would you prefer triple O, OM, or would you prefer Dreadnought? I think you just got to play them to see which one you like.
What's more comfortable? What sounds good?
And they're going to sound like I have a Dreadnought Takamine up there that sounds way different than this one.
Yeah.
Way less boom to it. This one's got a lot of boom. Sounds great. Anyway. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next Friday at 4. Are you going to be here next Friday?
I think so.
What do I have going on for? Let me look at my calendar.
I'll look at my calendar.
We're right now we're going to figure out if we can do this again next weekend.
Yeah. But just,
you know what?
I'm
looking at a blank square on the next Friday. So that means a 4:00 live stream.
Also, too.
Sweet. Hey, we'll see if I can get any other clowns from church to come over here with us.
Yeah.
Our other worship leaders.
But if you're afraid of clowns, don't worry. We don't mean like literal clowns. That's a legitimate fear.
I don't know why that.
That's a legitimate fear. Some people are legitimately afraid of clowns. Yeah. I get it, but not real clowns.
All right. We'll see you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Okay, see you. Bye. What? What is happening?
I don't know. I can't figure this out.
I can't read. Do you want to just end the stream?